It's a really beautiful experience, I think, for me and for all of us, to be here reflecting on the fact that fundamentally happiness is a choice, that love is a feeling, love is also an action, and it also requires an intention. And that the three concepts that were really important that I've shared with you this morning are: see people for who they are and act on that with wisdom. See the cycles that you get caught into and find the tools that you need to get off that merry-go-round and feel more joyful in your life together. And 3, be fully present. Savour the moments that you have with the people that are important to you and make the time that you have with them as rich as humanly possible.
We fare significantly better in the wider world, both in our jobs, in our friendships, and within ourselves, when we have the safety of a relationship that's supportive and comforting to come back to. There's often 4 common barriers for why we can't get our emotional needs met. And the first one is not a lack of awareness. For the most part, we don't really know what our emotional needs actually are. And the second one, which Liana actually talked about as well, is this expectation that our partner should just know, or they should just mind read, because if I love this way, then you must love the same, and if you're not giving me that, then you don't love me. The third common barrier is the fact that we often, as we go through life and more demands start to pile on, we actually stop prioritising our own personal needs. And the last barrier, or the last common barrier, is time. You know, often we feel so swamped by all these demands and everything that life throws at us that we feel like we just don't have the time.
What kind of relationship, what kind of home do we want to create for our children? The most important home is not the suburb it's located in, or whether it's got 3, 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, or how many bathrooms and bedrooms, but the actual quality of the love in that relationship. If we could just get people to focus as much on that as the kind of bricks and mortar question, we'd have much happier people in the future. So it's about trying to really work the values and also realise that you can change this. The beautiful thing about values is this is something you can, once you've identified what you want to be about, what you want your relationship to be about, this is something you can do now and keep on doing. For example, what are some of the core relationship values do you think that are important? What kinds of values would you like your relationship to be about? So respect is the most important building block, the most vital building block of a relationship. You don't always have to like your partner, and I suspect that you don't a lot of the time. And it's nice if you do like your partner, but you don't have to like it. So relax if you don't like your partner some of the time. It's okay. You don't like them, that kind of thing. But you do always have to respect them. So act with respect. When you're not feeling good about them, still act with respect. That's powerful. Something you can choose to focus on. Focus on the positives, accentuate them, blow them up, and make that the focus of your attention, and de-accentuate those negatives. Notice the battle going on in your mind. You want to talk about the negatives, but you're going to choose to focus on the positives. Now, this is fondness in action. The most important thing is to give yourself a break, because your partner is not your project. Right? Your partner is your partner. And I think, as our previous speakers have pointed out, to see the love, to see them just as they are, to accept them just as they are, is your task. And if you're having difficulties with that, that's your work. So you fall in love, that's fantastic. But the greater love that's possible through relationship, in fact, you could say relationships are useful to us because they allow us to generate love. Not to fall in love, but to make love.
So I'm going to go into the juicy topic of conflict, couple conflict. Couples decide to
state guarantees for each other. So guarantees would be like, you know, I guarantee that when we're in a difficult spot, I'm going to be there and work on stuff with you. Or I guarantee that if I feel overwhelmed, I'm going to go away and have a break, calm myself. So couples make these agreements to each other around repair in the relationship as a way of building on this sense of security and this sense of safety in the relationship. To a young couple who I made them, I was a bit rough, I made them turn to each other and apologise about something that they thought that they would like to apologise about. And immediately all the kind of tension and fury melted by giving an unequivocal apology. So not adding any, but if you only did this, or I'm sorry, but you made, I'm really sorry, I did overstep the mark, I stuffed up, I'm sorry. It can be really powerful just to receive that. Maybe we can compromise. What I meant was this. So Gottman's research showed that it wasn't only how couples fought that mattered, but how they made up. So marriages became more stable over time when couples learned to reconcile successfully. And also, what we talked about a bit earlier, those rituals for connection. Having that foundation of staying connected and engaged with your partner helps carry you during those times of conflict. And look, I also want to set the record straight. There's no relationship that I know that doesn't have conflict. In fact, I'd be worried if there wasn't conflict. I think conflict's a really important part of creating change, deepening understanding, and growth.
And what our other lovely four speakers have been talking about all day today is the foreplay. Okay? So they talked about the importance of trust and connection and accepting your partner and about being able to resolve conflict and all of these beautiful things, to be able to speak your partner's love language. Okay? You see, when you're operating like that with your partner, it's kind of like you're constantly giving each other nice little bundles of energy. Little bundles of love and sexual energy. Ooh. Because you need the factor. That factor is what enables you to be able to look at your partner, despite everything, and go, I remember you. Hi. Right? Just like you had right at the beginning. And it's easy to lose that. You got the kids, you got the mortgage, you got the stress at work, your boss is a dickhead, your partner's an asshole, blah, blah. Your quality, loving sex, the cascade of hormones that floods your body just makes you feel fabulous, right? And it makes you feel good about your partner, right? You get all those lovely oxytocins going, yummy, yummy stuff, right? And then you don't mind so much about it, you know, the children and the mortgage and all those things. You feel good. It builds resilience in a relationship. Okay, so that's a lot of theory, and some of you are going, well, look, that's all really interesting, but I'm just absolutely exhausted, and the last thing I can think about is sex, right? What are you going to do about that? Okay, fine. I actually believe if people aren't wanting to have sex with their partner, it's because they're trying to have the wrong sort of sex. Okay, so effectively the men were masturbating inside their wives. Excuse the crudity, but that's what it was. Okay? And that's basically the model of sex that we had. Right? Come the 1960s and 70s, the world wakes up and goes, oh, actually sex is good. We should all like sex. Women should like sex too. But we only had one model. I call it the adolescent male masturbatory model of sex. Genital stimulation. It's going to be intense in case mum finds you because, you know, the guy's been doing this really quickly in case mum walks in the door, right? So his concept of what sex is, got to do it really fast. Yes, you've got to do it really fast. You've got to gag for it, you've got to do it really fast. And then you've got to finish with an orgasm. Because one of the keys to good quality ongoing lovemaking in a long-term relationship, I'm stressing a long-term relationship, this is not meeting someone in a nightclub and shagging that night. You don't have to be heartfelt for that. It's completely genital-based. You've got to come from the heart. Kind of like that factor. Because one of the things you need to do is to raise your children to know that mummy and daddy have cuddle time. Right? Term I use for my children. So my children grew up from the tiniest age knowing that mummy and daddy have cuddle time, which tended to be on a Sunday morning, and they were allowed to watch lots of videos. When you make love with each other, you will make love for your whole family and beyond. Yeah? Happy, loving people create happiness and love around them. So go and make love.